Yep, he did. Boom. Sorry, did I get you? All right, fighting some crazy winds out here, so I'm gonna beef up my rig a little bit. Show you how I rig up for open water crappie. I'll start out with one of these sinker stops. I already got one on here. Then I'm gonna take one of these slider weights. These are tungsten, so they're a little heavier than a normal weight with a little smaller profile. This is 3/8. I should have brought my 1/2 ounce, but I just got the 3/8. But in this wind, you need all the weight you can stand to be able to get your jig down there and get it on the fish. So I get the weight on there, slide it on there, then we'll take another one of these stops here. Have to be careful they don't blow away. Get my weight on there. Then to add one of these stops, did I mention it's windy? Just run it through, run your line through one of these loops, like so. Then you pull that stop off the end. Now you got your extra weight on there. Now I got a 1/4 ounce eye hole hammer jig. All the weight you can stand today. I tie a Palomar knot, which is always fun in the wind. Go through the eye once, then go back through it. So now you got your line doubled up through the eye of the jig. Then you simply tie an overhand knot. Then you reach through that loop on the end with 2 fingers and get your jig head, bring it through that loop, and then cinch that down. It's one of the easiest and strongest knots there is. Cut off my tail. Tag, I guess. Get the sinker stops back in the box before they blow away. Got me a roo bait, Butler Gold. Looks really good, and that with this watercolor out here, kind of matches the watercolor. Get them back in the box before they blow away. Just thread that on there. And these eye hole jigs have those barbs on the side, like a double cross jig. Really holds that bait on well. Doesn't tear up the bait like some of the other jig heads do. Works great. And I'm gonna take some slab bites. This 1/4 ounce jig, you can put a bunch of slab bites in there. I got 2 of them kind of crammed in there. Might as well stick some up in the pouch for the roo bait and get one of them wedged up in there. Now I got plenty of scent on here. Get these put away before they blow away. But that's my rig. I keep the weight about 8 to 10 inches above the jig. So I got a 1/4 ounce jig and a 3/8 ounce extra weight. Be able to see that real well on live scope. These tungsten weights are pretty expensive, but I got this 20-pound vicious braid, the no fade braid on here, so out in open water I don't have to worry about losing that $3 or $4 weight like you would if you drop it in trees. But anyhow, we'll see if I can catch a fish or 2 with this. All right, found some pretty good looking fish here, down there about 10 feet deep. Start my jig up a couple feet above him. See if he comes and gets interested in it. Yep, he did. Boom. Sorry, did I get you? And that's the kind of fish we're looking for out here. Thank you, buddy. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Little video there how I set up my rig to get out in strong winds. It helps me to be able to keep that bait on that crappie that I can see on my live scope. So do you need tackle? Do you need tools to catch crappie? Maybe not. Maybe there's a way you can get out and catch crappie by hand, but if you try that, I'd highly suggest you have a backup plan for dinner. You definitely need a hook. Can you catch fish with a hook? I suppose still you can find some situation where you could get down there and get a crappie to bite the hook without anything else, but still stick with that backup plan for dinner. So you add on some line, tied on some line, and now you're able to drop that hook down off the end of the dock, maybe over a brush pile or something other, and there's a fair chance that you could catch a crappie or two. Many stories about crappie biting bare hooks, and it could happen. I still might have that backup plan for supper though. So then you add another component. You add your jig body on there, and now you got something that actually looks like a bait fish. Now when you've got it tied on that string and you drop it down over that brush pile, it looks like a bait fish. Good chance you might catch one or two. Your odds are getting better. You're getting more effective. To make it even more effective, you add some scent, especially with this this root jig. It has the pouch in there. You can stuff it with a slab bite. The eye hole jig, of course, has the eye holes. You can stuff slab bites in there. Now you got some scent on your hook, and looks like a minnow. Looks like maybe tastes like a minnow. Smells like a minnow. So you're even more effective. Start tying that onto a stick where you can reach around and got more reach, and odds are going up all the time. Put a reel on there where you can cast this bait out and get even farther away and cover more water. Yeah, you've gotten a lot more chances of catching fish. This can't, without, just by itself, it can't catch a fish. These slab bites by themselves, they can't catch a fish. This hook might be able to catch a fish. Your line, I'm gonna catch a fish with just line more than likely. And then, out there in the wind, to be more effective, I put a little weight above my hook. All these different components, they have a job and they have a purpose, and by themselves, a lot of them, as far as catching a fish, they can't do it. They're worthless. They all have their strengths and their purposes, but they all have their weaknesses. But you put them all together, and odds are you might be having fish for supper. A little bit of what Paul writes to Ephesians concerning us. Ephesians 4:11, and he gave some to be apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors and teachers, for the equipping of the saints for the work of ministry. All this equipment put together is effective for the work of catching fish, just like all the saints put together are effective for the work of ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ, till we all come to the unity of faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, to a perfect man, to the measure of stature of fullness of Christ, that we should no longer be children, tossed to and fro, carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the trickery of men and the cunning craftiness of the deceitful plotting, but speaking the truth in love, may grow up in all things into him who is the head, Christ, from whom the whole body, joined and knit together, just like the line joins us and knits together, and by what every joint supplies, according to the effective working by which every part does its share, causes growth of the body for the edifying of itself in love. So that's all the components get together and work together. They all have their strengths. They all have their weaknesses. Some of them are useless on their own. They have to have help. And that's the same way with us as followers of Christ. You know, we are imperfect. Christ was perfect, but we all have our faults. We all have our shortcomings. We all have our weaknesses. But that's why he puts us together as a body to cover each other's weaknesses, to use each other's strengths, and to do that work that Christ sent us to do, that the body would grow and increase. And when we all do our part, and we all work together, and we respect each other, and we love each other, and we all work together for a single purpose, that's what happens. The body of Christ grows. And that's our goal, to reach as many people as we can in the short time that we have on this planet, so that we can all enjoy eternity together with Christ. Anyhow, thank you guys for watching, and as always, remember, ask, seek, knock.